one that's hitting pretty hard over the last couple weeks is the Supreme Court justices are going to be hearing a case based on some possible admissions violations for the College of Harvard and the University of North Carolina. Two very, very opposite schools. Harvard, obviously, one of the top Ivy League schools, top colleges in the entire world. University of North Carolina, basically known as a sports school. The courts are being challenged to hear of admissions policies, which consider race among many factors when evaluating applications. The policies are designed to boost the number of Black and Hispanic students and are intended to ensure minority groups are fairly represented in these schools across the country. What's happening is they're weighing in as to whether there are discriminatory or civil law violations for these two schools. They are required to have a decision by the end of the first quarter of July 2023. My first thought is, why is race even a part of the admissions for any school across the country, especially local schools, public or state schools that have no private means? Private schools, maybe so. You know, you've got a lot of predominantly Black schools down south. You got some, I guess, schools up north that are predominantly white. But why is race even considered a factor when it comes to a student's grades, transcripts, academics, and their overall body of work? What have they done? I don't understand why this is even going on today. First I've heard of it was just a couple days ago, and it really got me burning a little bit as to, why race is even involved in the admissions. If you've got a 4.0, an IQ of over, what's the IQ? Over 150, and your SATs and your ACT scores are off the charts, you should be able to go to any school across the country or in the world, no matter if you're Black, white, purple, or green. It doesn't matter what your color is. I know Keith's going to have some things to say about this. I know Fisher's got some strong ones too. So I'm going to bow out and let you guys go ahead.
Sorry, what's the case? Is people saying that because you have to admit so many minorities that some people can't get in who maybe have better or higher grades or something like that? Is that the case?
It's being looked at that they're not using affirmative action laws and with their admissions. So they're discriminating against the Hispanics and the Black folks.
Oh, so kids can't get in.
They're not able to get into these schools based on their race, no matter what their academic background is.
I see. Okay.
So they're looking to see if these schools have discriminatory or they have violated civil laws.
Okay.
And Keith's just shaking his head. Go ahead, brother. Have at it.
It would really take a whole show to just even begin to unfold all this. I remember when I was 18 years old, my first experience with the race quota thing, the affirmative action thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember how it made me feel. And it didn't make me feel good. And I call it the Noah's Ark syndrome. I was 17, 18 years old. I think I was 17. And I needed a job really bad. And my friend was a packer at Acme, the old Acme #1 on Waterloo. And he kept telling me, dude, just come up there, man. You got a job. I'm like, you sure? He goes, I guarantee you'll get hired. I'm like, how can you guarantee me? He was so positive. Well, I went up there and I got the job. And there was another Black packer there. And everything was great. After a while, that other Black packer, we're the only two Black guys there, he quit. The next guy that got hired was Black. He quit after a while. The next guy was black. A white guy quit. Next guy to hire was white. When I quit, I'll never forget going up to get my last check and saw my replacement, and he was black. And I found out what the deal was. I forget who admitted it to me. Is that the law told them they have to have at least 2 black Packers. Really. For a person like me who had an outstanding work record since I was 15 years old, was in college, applying myself, it made me feel really stupid. It made me feel like, really? I'm just a quota. I got this job because of a quota. I don't mind getting the job, but it makes me feel like my self-worth was just a number. You know what I'm saying? When I left the job, you could put any moron in my spot as long as he looked like me. So that being said, I certainly don't like sometimes playing devil's advocate here, if you will. Sometimes they track race because they have to see where they're failing. All right, are we failing bringing up more minorities and helping them out, you know, in the academic area? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's because of what I just told you. It's that Noah's Ark thing. You got to have so many minorities. Sometimes you have to have so many minorities to receive government grants and funding. And that's just as shameful. And as much as I understand affirmative action and I can appreciate where it came from, I want it abolished, but it can't be abolished until you give equal opportunity under the law starting at the elementary level. I'm tired of going around. Let's just take high schools. You know, I used to go to my son who played for Cuyahoga Falls, all his high school football games. And in the division they were in, they played Stowe and some of all these other teams. And I'm telling you, it was better than Cleveland Brown Stadium. I went out to Stowe, man, this brand new field, and the scoreboard, they had a big bulldog helmet, and the team ran out of it. It was unbelievable. It's like being in freaking Heinz Field or Municipal Stadium or Cleveland Brown Stadium or something. First Energy said, I'm like, what? Then we go up here to play North, and it's just dirt and gravel back there. You know? No scoreboard. That's a shame that kids have to think this is all they are. This is all they're worth. And how do you feel when you go play a team like Stowe and you see all that, and then you come back and you can't even get a good scoreboard, you know, or decent field? It's really shameful, you know, and it's hurtful. So as much as I appreciate affirmative action, I want it gone, but it can't be gone until you start at the lowest level and say, you know what, we got to give everybody equal opportunity to get the best education they can get.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on forever on this, man. So great subject.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, you know, like you said earlier, Skinner. I mean, first of all, the best grades should give one the opportunity to get to the best schools. Having said that, if you have kids that have similar accomplishments, right, then it's not, I don't want to say a tiebreaker, but then you have to make sure that all are represented in your facility. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I think about it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And that's true, Fisher, and that's great. The only problem is, and if you're a black person and you don't have the decency to think about this, then you're wrong. What about that white kid who may not have a racist bone in their body, who has worked their butt off?
Yeah.
And gets slighted of an opportunity. Now, I don't want to get too boohoo for them because I'm sorry, if you don't think there's such thing as white privilege, you're a freaking moron. It exists in everyday life, so you'll be okay. But I'm just saying, we got to start making it fair for everybody as much as possible. Yeah, I think we should do it like that so everybody's represented. So, but it's always on the lowest level that we do these type of things. Like somebody asked Deion Sanders the other day, and we'll talk more about him later, about more black coaches in the NFL. And they're like, why are we always talking about this? Why can't we get some more black owners in the NFL? That's the club that they keep exclusive, won't let nobody in. You know, why can't we have more black NFL owners? They block everyone that tries to buy a football team, and then maybe we'll start seeing some of this equality, and you can say it's fair. Just a thought.
Yes, Skinner, what do you think?
I pretty much summed it up before I let the reins go for you guys. I hate the fact that there is affirmative action, and I hate it for both sides of the spectrum. I hate the fact that, you know, if you're a black woman and you go up for a job versus any other race and any other gender, because of the affirmative action, she already has a leg up on everybody else. She could be the best employee in the world, and if she earned that job, it doesn't matter that she's black, and it doesn't matter that she's female. If her credentials fits her to have that job, absolutely love it. But if you're putting her in that position because she's black and because she's a woman, and there's is a female, doesn't matter. It could be a female of any race, or a male, a black male, white male, it doesn't matter. If she's in that position because of a freaking quota, it is absolutely wrong. And it needs, like Keith said, it needs to go away. But equality across the board has to happen on its own. It can't be because of this, you know.
And how about when you put somebody in the position because of their skin color and they're not ready for it? You set them up to fail.
Well, yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. You know, you put somebody that's not qualified in there just because of their color of their skin, or you know, because of their gender, and it's wrong.
Not only do they fail, but then there's always those people standing looking, going, "See, told you." You know, I see it all the time in the NFL. They'll give the black coach the job, especially in college. They'll give them the job of a team that's completely decimated and falling apart in a year and a half when they can't do anything, but they've gotten some great recruits, and they bring in some guy who reaps the benefits. I see it all the time. It happens. You set people up for failure, but oh well. Like I said,
so affirmative action needs to go away, but everything has to change up front, and it has to start at the very young age, like you said.
That's where it's going to start.
Real quick,
I'll just say for this podcast here. That's right. So when the three of us applied, we all got in as the lowest IQ at the time. They did not look at race or sex or nothing. So that's how we got this job. So it just happened to work out. So
they just went to the bottom of the barrel. I don't know which position we were in. I don't know who was last, next to last, or next to last, but we were at the bottom of the barrel.
Look at these three jabronis, and we'll let them do something. Not sure what that something is, but let us do something, right?
Yeah, that's right. Great subject, man.
Hey, this is Skinner from GenX. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and like, and we'll see you next time.